Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Farside TV with the co-host for the evening, Mr. Amaru. What's happening with you, man?
Chilling, chilling in the building.
Yeah, man. I gotta have to start off first giving a rest in peace to Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's funny because you know a lot of people don't want to give him his props and they want to just kind of like hop into the whole satirical thing and whatnot. But you know, we all we all flawed, man. You
Yeah,
can't,
for sure, for sure, for sure.
we all flawed, and
Yeah.
especially with something like politics. You know what I'm saying? They gonna send all kind of stuff at you. So what I am going to acknowledge Jesse Jackson for is being a civil rights leader. You know what I'm saying? Working with Dr. King, fighting for racial equality. You know what I'm saying? He founded the Rainbow Push Coalition to promote job fairness and whatnot for all folks, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm gonna give him a shout out too.
huh. Oh, for that little child he got out of Baldwin Hills. They sick
No,
that little young thing on him.
no. I would give him a shout out for when Obama when
Oh,
Obama
so they
was
could cut off his
being
nuts.
when he was being when Obama not during the inauguration, but one of Obama's speeches, the famous shot of him crying and he dropped them tears. The first thing I thought was that nigga beat me to it.
They gave him drama because he was on a plane and I want to say they caught him, and this was before social media, so social media was around, they really would have got it. But he was on a plane, and they said it was something in reference to he wished they would have cut Obama's nuts off, or Obama didn't have no
I
nuts.
vaguely remember something.
Yeah, it was something. But you know what? That was the power of not having social media. You know
Uh,
what I'm saying? Some
I
nonsense.
vaguely remember some hot mic something. He said something foul about Obama. I couldn't quote it to you if
Yeah.
yeah, but I remember that vaguely.
But you know what though? That's the thing, man. We can't. We have to understand that all people come with duality. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Just like that, they said Dr. King was the motherfucker you wanted to hide your weed from when he came over.
Hey, with
see,
that,
but see, hold on. There's a dude. I don't talk to him no more, but there's a dude, man. He was embarking on um, doing some stand up about that aspect of Dr. King's life, and I'm gonna tell you why that's important to me. And I was encouraging him to do it, because we put too many times we put this is why we are in trouble now. We put too many people on a pedestal of this perfection of this infallible human being when the opposite is true. We need to see both sides of like I did a song where I say something to the effect of because my father was gone, and I'm paraphrasing now, but because my father was gone, we need to see him fall. We need to see him fail and how he recovered from that. Just like the people we deem our leaders, we need to know once where they came from. And yeah, he used to smoke weed, he used to do it just like we know about Malcolm X's past. We don't really know too much about Dr. King, even Jesse Jackson, I would say, dare to say, before they came into being who we remember them to be now. What flaws and ticks and other things that they have to go through in order to become who they became. And so that way, when they do die, and you have these dissenting ideas about these certain peoples, that they're a little more informed, and you don't get so offended. Yeah, because you say something about Jesse Jackson right now, even if it's true, you don't get. They gonna drag you.
you
they
know,
gonna, they gonna drag you, not understanding. But it's real. It really happened. This was him. So I was encouraging this cat to do it. He's scared to do it. and this is a comedy about Dr. King before he became Dr. King. You know, he was that nigga you want to hide your weed from. That's just what it was.
But
You
I
know,
mean, even after he became Dr. King, you know what I'm saying? He liked, he liked what he liked.
you
You
know
know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying? And
Like they part. You see, just like now, being the age that I am now, I have realized that my grandparents weren't the perfection that I had always the pedestal that I always put them on. Because if I'm a thinking man and think about the time and era that my grandparents got together, my grandmother really didn't have any choices.
mm-hmm.
She was in a time where she couldn't have her own bank account. She couldn't leave, essentially she couldn't leave my grandfather if she wanted to and have a stable life because everything had to go run through him, the bank accounts, everything that women, voting rights, all that old shit. And so did they really love each other or was she just stuck with this thing? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You know what I mean? Like we have, and that tears my mind up to think of my grandparents any other way but the West family, perfect family that lived on Elm Street. You know, my grandfather and my grandmother who took care. It was the matriarch and the patriarch of the family. And every Sunday you over at the house, grandma was trapped, nigga. That's what it was.
hey,
you know.
it's I talked to Drew. We talked about an hour today,
Okay.
and we were talking about kind of like duality and stuff like that. Two things. When I first started going out on the road, um, I was very opinionated after I had gone out on so about 2 years after I had traveled a whole bunch, I was very opinionated, and Brown was kind of the person to pull my feet back down to. He was my gravitational pull when I would get ahead of myself,
Right.
and one of the things uh, that I would kind of comment about would be younger rappers, like in the 2000s, I guess. Like this was after, so I've probably been traveling for about maybe 5 years hard, like. And I mean, nowadays people will go out on the road for, let's say, a week and a half, or they'll do like 2 weekends a month for 3 months and call it a tour. When I started going out on the road, we was gone for 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like it was real. And it wasn't social media. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that. So you were away from home, everything you loved, everything you knew, you eating different kind of food. It was like, man, there was no Starbucks in Europe. There was no, like, you get to some towns, and if you didn't eat by 7 o'clock, it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You
Man,
The
for real?
best you could do is a gas station, maybe. And I had a joke. They used to bag on me because we had went to this one place in Germany. I bought a couple duck sandwiches, man. I was just like, it was like absolutely nothing to
He
eat.
said duck sandwiches.
But the trip is, when these younger rappers started coming out, because so during the early 90s up to about the 2000s, it wasn't nothing to get a deal for, like, let's say 300,000 to about 700,000. They was throwing those away like them loans back in the early 2000s. Like anybody could get a deal. Like I won't say anybody, but I just say there was a lot of them flowing around. So after, let's say, 2003, 2004, these young guys are getting signed and they're getting millions. And, I would have conversations with Brown where I would say, like, man, these dudes, you know what I'm saying? They got these millions, wasting their money and getting chains and cars and all da 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 da. And Brown would always pull me back down and he would say, dude, if you were in your early 20s and you had a $4 or $5 million deal, you don't know what you would do. You know what I'm saying? And like to the point, like you really don't know what you would do. It's easy to say it when you don't have it, but when you're young, to the point, Soldier Boy. People give Soldier Boy a lot of flack for just being like off the chain. But dude, you gotta understand. I want to say he had the first ringtone. You know what I'm saying? He had the Superman song, which he owned all the publishing. He was independent. You know all this, so he had so much, so young, no guidance, and so I say all that to say, tying it into this whole political thing, you're really not trained for a lot of the stuff that you come into. And so with that, you have to give grace. So for me, let's say the age of probably after I turned, let's say 46, 47, I finally kind of understood grace to the level of it's okay to not judge a person by their position, but still give them the respect for what they may, the advice that they may give you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're younger, you know, as a black man, me being younger, I was kind of like, how are you gonna tell me and you messed up? You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But this is the twist. When I did some life coaching, my dad came into the conversation and he brought some context and he said, my life coach said, in reference to my dad, he said, you know what? You can argue a lot of things in life, but you can never argue somebody's experience because you haven't done it. It's not theory. Experience is not theory. Experience is someone who's actually done something. And so, regardless of how smart they are, how stupid they are, how wild they are, how conservative they are, if they've done it, you cannot like it and you can argue it. But if they've done it, they've done it. So I say that to say, when it comes to these politicians, these preachers, these actors, these artists, people that we hold in high esteem, of course we could pick their life apart or cherry pick whatever, but you can't take away from them what they've done.
Right. Facts. Right. You can't take it away from them. You can't take away from, yeah. That can go just many places in that thought process.
Yeah. And then at the same time,
the internet, but the internet as a whole, seemingly to me, takes away your experience, because without the pictures or videos, you ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Without that evidence, that experience is just yours, allegedly.
I'll give you one better. And dude, I'll probably quote Brown because I'm just around him more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, it's like I'm not jocking him or nothing. Like, like literally, I'm around him more than I'm around anybody. But I'll say this: you can be whoever you want to be on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other part that you got to talk about when it comes to the internet. You got filters, you got, of course everybody posts the cool stuff, you know what I'm saying?
But you know what's gonna come back and play in style is not using filters and shit, just being, because the trend is going to be looking for the authentic.
Nah, so, I don't think so, man.
You don't think they're gonna be girls?
No.
Hey, what's her name doing it? She just did a commercial, and I applaud her for it. She should have stopped using the shit a long time ago, because that's why her face looked like that. But she's doing it now. Pamela Anderson. She looked raw without that makeup, dog. But it's refreshing. It was almost. I almost thought it was a skit online or some shit, the commercial, but it was a real some kind of beauty commercial or some shit.
She didn't have no fillers.
No,
the lips wasn't done.
Nothing. Oh, she looked like she looked on that movie she did. What is it called? I can tell you right now. Give me a second. Right here. What is this movie called?
Probably look like a monster.
No, it's they kind of reamed her for it, but it seemed like it was going to. I think they reamed her for it because she didn't wear no makeup. What is it called? It is. Hang on a second. It is called. of course it don't. It's, the Last Showgirl. There, I seen plenty of clips in the advertising of that movie of her without that makeup. That's where she started that trend, and I guess it's a trend she's trying to start now, or whatever. As a matter of fact, I think I want to say she was on The View probably last year without makeup. So
good for her.
Yeah. I applaud the shit out of man because she looked rough.
You know, man. Yeah, because but that's the thing. Like and somebody who I don't talk to him now, but I used to talk back into the past. One thing he said, it wasn't a lot that he said that was on point, but one thing he said our eyes get trained through social media to see things. We become normalized in seeing the way that filters and all that kind of, all that stuff looks like it man.
It's ridiculous.
All them fuzzy face pictures and all that stuff.
It should be illegal, man. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. Some of y'all covering up shit you should be covering up. You know what I'm saying? Like
my pet peeve are the round eyes that make people look like an animal, and then the fuzzy thing. The
fuzzy thing. That's called beautify in editing. In the editing programs is beautified, and the motherfuckers got that shit on 1,000.
Oh man, yeah, too much. But I'm gonna give my props to Jesse Jackson, and I'm not going to judge him on the things that people can say that weren't right. I'm going to.
I'm a judge.
I'm mature enough, huh?
I'm a judge his kids, his son.
Well, but and they sick that little girl on him from Baldwin Hills. He had a baby like in his 70s, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they sick that girl on him, and so the younger me wanted to judge him and say, "Come on, man, you were smarter than that." You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna judge a man for messing with a woman, but for him having a child with someone that was that much younger than him, and it wasn't. I want to say he was probably still married at the time.
Yeah, he was married.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I'm not gonna judge him for being a man, but it was just kind of like, man, what? But you know what? Let me spin the record back, and let me spin the record back, and let me say, I've never had that kind of money. I've never had that kind of power. I've never had that kind of notoriety. I've never had any of that. I've never led a civil rights whatever, and I don't know what I would do. So how about that? I'm about to spin the record back, and we just going praise Jesse Jackson and be grateful for what he has given the world while he could give the world.
For sure.
So there's a cat that I watch on social media named Zoe Williams, and he put up a rest in peace to Jesse Jackson, and fools went in, boy. They went in. I saw one comedian. I saw one comedian, and I ain't gonna say his name though. But dude, he made me laugh out loud. He said, "Okay, rest in peace, Jesse Jackson." And the price of hot sauce has just gone up at Whole Foods. And I was just like, man, come on.
That's all the reverence niggas got for it. That's all they got. That's all they got for
it. Yeah. But I'll tell you something that blew my mind. And the reason I talk about social stuff with you is because I look at your Facebook posts. I'm not like a Twitter dude or nothing like that. Right, and you just come with a million one-liners off of stuff that I could tell that you saw that kind of brought thought to you or it blew your mind or whatever. But dude, did you see this cat, Jeremy Carl? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, he's a piece of he man.
Who is that?
Man, he's a horrible human being. So anyway, it's this dude who Trump during Trump's first administration, he picked him as the deputy assistant secretary of the Interior.
Carl.
Jeremy Carl.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he went before the Senate because Trump just nominated him
for assistant secretary. I watched that. Yeah. I watched that old pungy ass. He basically said he was the part of the KKK without saying the KKK.
Dude, it's the most and you know, so I got a third cousin that's in Mississippi, and he's like a pro-Trumper type of cat, but he's got stuff going on, but I think he's more like on some shock jock type of thing. He does a little podcast. Put it this way, he's a Jesse Lee Patterson fan.
Jesse Lee Patterson. I don't know who that is.
Oh man, he's the black dude that has a podcast, and he brings people on, and he'll say stuff like black people. He'll say stuff like white people not wrong.
That dude. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
I just don't know his name. I just didn't know his name. I seen him.
He's the worst, man.
Oh my God.
He's the worst. So my cousin was going on this rant, and he was talking about these horrible liberal Democrats Photoshop this little black girl into a picture with Trump and blah 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 blah. And you know, I really don't like to get into that, but I had to, man. And I was like, okay, somebody photoshopped a picture of a black girl, child, like very young child, with him with his arm around her, whatever. But I'm like, man, before you go trying to make this man a saint or a prophet or whatever you, because he really does think that Trump is like the savior. You know what I'm saying? Like he's part of the cult for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you should go back and look at the lawsuits that he had when he ran them kitty pageants. You know what I'm saying? And the accusations of him walking through the dressing rooms with the little girls changing and all that kind of stuff, and him feeling like because he threw and I don't know how I could safely say they was about 13. You know what I'm saying? Inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? 100% inappropriate. But this is the thing that I kind of had to bring to his attention. It's not about liberals. It's not about Democrats. It's not about MAGA. It's not about white supremacy. It's about them five. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I just watched David Muir broadcast this evening. He didn't even mention the word files once. Once. Not once. He didn't spell them out. Nothing.
Hey, anybody, and this is all I say, I won't get into the semantics of cherry picking political party and all that. I just say, go to the website and enter the president's name in and see how many times it pop up. And it's not even, it shouldn't even be a conversation, but
not at all.
But I'm not going to ride that horse too long, but I'm going to say him picking Jeremy Carl for the second time to be a part of his administration should tell anybody what you want to know. And I'm gonna tell, we're gonna get off of him, but I gotta get this off. The part that killed me was when they asked him, what part of American culture,
white culture,
has been taken away by the immigrants and the other people? And that fool said food. He said like food. It was something to the level of food. And I'm just like,
he said food, the music, and because he was trying to ask him what is white culture basically.
Yeah.
And so dudes started naming all food. I'm thinking about something. Y'all ain't got no season, no shit. What is you talking food?
But you know what though? Honestly, I feel we all went for the bait, and he was just a distraction.
They gonna confirm him anyway. It's all theater.
Yeah, I'll say he was just a distraction to get fools to not talk about them files.
That's the thing I don't like about all that. Bringing them up in front of Congress and everything. Yeah, it might expose some shits or whatever. But for the most part, they always put them through.
Dude.
You know, Democrats, they I understand they're not in power, but still, what's all the theater for? If the Republicans are in power, they're gonna put this motherfucker through, put them through. We don't need
who you don't hear anything about right now. They put him on punishment and put him in a corner with his nose to the corner, is Hegseth. And dude, they called out everything this man was, dude. They called out everything to the T. Republicans and Democrats called out everything to the T.
Because they about to throw him under the bus, him and Bondi.
We'll see.
They gonna throw them under the bus, back up on them. They gonna they prepping them for that, and it seemed like there might be something in the water for JD as well, because they throwing little shots back and forth, and if you think about it, JD and Trump ain't been in the same room in a long ass time.
I'll tell you, this last political part, I'm gonna speak, and we're gonna move on to some lighter stuff. But dude, what did they get on Marco Rubio, to make him change his tune, man? Oh my God.
They got something on him. They
definitely do.
I don't know if it's the island, but they got something on him that got him doing cocaine on live TV.
Oh, he's faded. He's on powder and he's sipping something that ain't water.
Yeah, man. That motherfucker is stressed out. You can see it. Oh, yeah. Him and Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's so scared, he on TV just straight crying. Please send me some money because they whooping my ass in this election. And if you don't send me money, yeah, he's straight crying on TV, man. And a couple times within the last 30 days, he'd have been intoxicated while on TV.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I want to say he was on Fox. It might have been Fox, but I saw him and he was definitely faded.
Yeah, definitely, man. These cats, they got something on him and Rubio so bad that it's got them just straight crashing out through drugs on live TV, man, and think we ain't seeing this shit. Like Rubio probably planned how he was gonna hold his cup and drink. I'm if I got to sip, I'm gonna do it every 3 minutes, so I don't look like, and not realize he's doing it every 3 seconds. And then going like that.
Oh yeah, it's blatant. So, dude, moving on. I've been thinking about you because it's finally got cold in LA.
Oh. Y'all was it true? I saw something said that I-80 got shut down or something like that.
Oh, I'll give you one better. By my house, the 710 freeway, and I'm gonna tell you something crazy. I was driving my little car yesterday, and I got some gas in Long Beach. And where I get gas at, I hop on the 710 and then hop back on the 91. And something just told me, bust a U and just go back to the 91 3 minutes instead of hopping on the 710. 710 flooded out and people just leaving their cars.
Really?
just literally walking and leaving it because it was flooded. And I used to live in Long Beach for probably about 3 years. And the 710 always flooded, but I had a 4x4 at the time. So I never tripped off of it. But yeah, the 710 has never had proper drainage, but for the most part, it's a highway for big rig trucks moving back and forth coming from the port. Yeah. So me speaking about the weather and all that and thinking about you with the weather, how does somebody adapt to living in Michigan after living in LA and Arizona?
From starting off in Michigan, that's all. If it wasn't for me starting off here, I wouldn't have moved. I wouldn't have moved this motherfucker on purpose.
Oh man.
I was thinking about this the other day. had I not went through some of the stuff that I went through in the military, I would have been a New Yorker because one of my stations was supposed to be the 10th Mountain Division, which is in New York. Had that played out, I'd have been a New Yorker. I'd have been right now would have been, of the New York mind frame and this, that, and the third, and whatever came with that. Because I know myself, I know if I would have been put in that environment and then visited New York and I would have been hooked and did my thing. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn, I should have probably gone went and stayed in that bitch and been, housed there and was able and capable to plant some seeds there and while I was young, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought about that probably about a week ago. But yeah, when I moved out to LA or went out west period as an adult, it was there was a choice. It was a literal choice in my head. I was like New York or California. And I was like, I hate the snow. So it was obvious New York. And plus, as a kid, we had lived in Arizona for 3 years, which introduced me, which probably saved my life. I credit that to my mama, even though we was running from my daddy. That's why we went out there. We was hiding from his ass. But that showed me that the world wasn't flat as an inner city youth. And when we moved, I remember like it was yesterday, I said to myself, looking out the bus on the left side of the Greyhound bus as we was pulling out of Arizona, coming back to Michigan, saying to myself, one day I'm going to come back. And that's exactly what I did. And it was because of that experience.
You know what turned me off from New York?
What's that?
Before I had ever ridden on public transit and whatnot. So my first time in New York, there was an album about to come out, and so there was a company that had maybe licensed the album, and they had some money, and they wanted us to do some promo and stuff like that. So it was like a cushy side of a New York visit, but the part that turned me off. So we didn't go out there just for the album. We were actually on tour, but we had some shows in New York, so we stopped by the office. And dude, parking was $50 a day, and you still gotta walk a block or two. And the 50 is not the 50 of today. So in today's time, it probably would have been like 100. It probably would, or $90. It'd be like $100 or $90 to park like 2 blocks away from where you gotta go. And it's cold. I was like, oh man, this ain't dope. I was like, this ain't dope. I'm not feeling this.
That I think that's the effort to force people to use Metro Transit and all the transit system to keep the car population down, because they pretty much want the people who live in the city to be able to drive their shit or do whatever they want with their shit. And so in order to keep that down, they gotta either raise the prices on the parking or something.
On having a vehicle.
Like I don't being there as many times as I was there in the last 3 years. If you live near the city, you don't need a vehicle.
Dude, I knew a producer who had a Range Rover, and he literally had to park the Range Rover like 20 minutes from his house.
That's crazy. Ain't no way hell.
He had to park the Range Rover 20 minutes from his house and get to and from the parking because he could afford the parking. Like that's the man, I would feel. But this is the one thing I did understand about New York. It's easy to be in relationships in New York because everything is so high. Dude, fools will be on the train and meet a woman, or a woman meet a dude, or whatever, and y'all a couple, dude. After a conversation on that train, and the price of everything, and dude, for me to look at what people were paying back then, $1,000, dude, you had a shoebox for $1,000 a month, dude. Literally a shoebox.
Yo, it's expensive in that joint, man. I the only thing I just I don't know. I'm torn because I know me and I know what I've accomplished in my lifetime thus far, and the comparison to what I see in New York and the possibilities and what it was in LA. If I would apply, and then here's the thing: logistics. It's closer to Michigan, my home. So when I failed, because I failed many times being out west. So when I failed, that's a almost 3,000 mile trek back home to recuperate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, each time I got family, my kid. You know, each time that's a cost. If I was closer and went to New York, that failure rate, okay, you know, that's just 10 hours drive. You know, to go back home, recuperate. Okay, let's regroup, go back. Even can leave my family in Michigan and go back and forth type of thing would have been cheaper than the trek across the country every time something didn't work out.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? And and if I would have just got over that cold shit, man, that shit, they would have gave me the key to the city. If I would have
Man.
applied everything that I did and all the things that I accomplished in New York, they'd have gave me the key to the city.
What I will applaud,
Tell you.
what I will applaud the New York people for is hustle.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what it's. I went there as a flight attendant. I used to go there, but I didn't really go into the city. I really didn't absorb the boroughs and all that type of shit. There was no sightseeing like that. It was just work. When I went, that was the first time I met y'all. That was that year when I went with a couple of my buddies just to be going as grown men and being able to experience some shit. Nigga, I was like, man, where have you been? What the fuck?
Well,
What the fuck have you been doing? This shit is at night. The vibrations, the exuberance, the
the smell of
energy.
trash in the streets,
I don't
the
give a fuck
rats the
about that.
size
I
of
don't
pit
give a fuck
bulls.
about. Hey, the rats was a motherfucker. We was at this pizza spot eating the pizzas in the street. Nigga, the rats was cleaning off tables and shit. And I'm like, look at these motherfuckers. Like the shit is,
Rats
yo.
giving you dap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Rats is walking around like, what's up?
Yeah, man. I'm spoiled.
Yo.
Yeah, that was a part like me walking and the smell of trash and like literally so many people they had to pick trash up every day. Like
Yeah.
all of that is just like that was too much. But
But that's in LA just as
no,
well. About Greyhound Station, nigga, that shit smell like.
well,
Look
the
here,
Greyhound station
come
is
on now.
that's the
Look, that's part of LA, nigga. That's part of downtown. That shit
that's
right there.
Mad Max. That's Mad Max zone though.
Yeah, that
That's
Greyhound
mad.
Station,
We can't.
yo.
You can't count that, man. That's the underbelly. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's the underbelly around the city.
Yo, come on, man. That motherfucker. I've been there several thousand times on the attempted come up.
So tell me this: when you left Michigan, being away from Michigan, what food did you miss? Like, what do they have now? I've debated people because I've had somebody say, "Well, man, Detroit pit, don't stop it, knock it off, not no Detroit pizza." What do you miss when you? What did you miss when you were away from Michigan?
Man, Michigan niggas gonna be mad at me when I say this. I can't say that I did. I had to flip it, and what I missed leaving the West Coast is going into the 7-Eleven and give me a little bean pie or the sweet potato pie, man. I missed that shit, man. That shit right there, man. That shit got me hooked emotionally, dog.
Hey, I'll give you a good one.
What's that?
One of my secret pleasures of getting to Japan, dude, they got the bombest fried chicken ever in the 7-Elevens in Japan, dude. Like, man.
I keep hearing that 7-Eleven is like going to
Oh yeah.
some
Oh yeah.
some good shit, like some
Oh yeah.
luxury shit, like
Yeah, oh yeah. 7-Eleven is yeah, 7-Eleven is a I'm not gonna say it's like a market, but I'll say the food. I was happy. I couldn't wait to get to 7-Eleven. I'll put that just okay. So dinner is one thing, but just to go somewhere that's close to the hotel where you can just get things that are comfortable and
right.
stuff that you could,
Real
yeah,
quick.
7-Eleven.
Real quick.
So moving on, I just recently turned you on to a Marvel flick. Not a flick,
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
series.
yeah.
A
Well,
little series.
I've seen it before. When you had mentioned it on a show, the show a couple weeks ago, I was watching, and I had already seen it when y'all was talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I already seen it, so I was just agreeing with you. Um, Wonder Man. My problem with it was they didn't. I don't think they advertised it well. They didn't advertise the story well enough.
You know the
Because I almost didn't.
so
I almost didn't watch it, but I watched it just because it was a Marvel thing, and I can't be giving my opinions about some shit that I ain't never watched, so I want to be informed. But the storyline and everything, because I don't know the history of Wonder Man, I just know he existed, and so to they gave no storyline of what they gave nothing of what I saw to be the story, and that to me that's a tragedy.
so when one because on my Disney Plus, Wonder Man was just popping up, popping up, popping up, popping up. And just the name Wonder Man with my very narrow-minded way of thinking, I wasn't messing with no Wonder.
Yeah, that too, man. I'm like, that's a corny ass name. Wonder Woman, Wonder Man. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, I was not messing with.
Yeah, you
I,
right on that. You right. That name was like, yeah.
but I'll say this: uh, the genius of it to me, without getting too much into the storyline, was the role Sir Ben Kingsley played and how he was that same character from Iron Man 3,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
where he was sinister in a way, but he was also kind of genius. You know what I'm saying? And it was a in the way that he kind of was
He was always
playing like
balanced.
he was.
He was always balancing his options, especially
Yeah,
as an actor.
yeah, man.
I think he was balancing. He was always in flux with his options based on the circumstances. So he's being blackmailed to do this. How he realized, okay, damn, this dude kind of a good dude. He's still looking out for me, and I'm about to fuck him over. But this is the role of the. I think even in the end, ultimately, it was all about the role for him. All about the.
Yeah, but my second favorite thing about it was the soundtrack was incredible.
I wish they would have had more superpower shit.
You gotta let that go. A lot of people said so. One of my homeboys, he was like, "Why do you have to wait until the last episode to get the power?"
Yeah, I need some power straight up.
Wasn't about the power, dude. They
I
were
know it
built.
wasn't. I know it wasn't. I'm just saying selfishly, I want power too. Do some. You could have did a power in one episode 1 or 2. I've been cool until it got to the last little episode or whatever. But give me some. Blink your eye or something. Do something. You got the Marvel banner and all that old shit and Wonder Man. Leave Wonder Woman. You can see the rope hanging around her hip or something. Give me something. Do I Dream of Genie? Blink your eyes. Do something. Do something.
Yeah, I think it. Well, for me, I appreciated the 35-minute episode. You know
Yep,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that too. The episode lengths were great. They were great, nothing long and drawn out. But I still think they needed more power usage. It didn't even have to be by him. It could have been by other people. You know, little subtle shit.
So tell me this. Your first documentary that you shot, what was your approach?
Talk about what you know, because I'm from the system. And that's what I was taught. Just talk about what you know. Because I was young, had just got my first set of equipment and was excited, young, and was like, yeah, let's go shoot something now. And then the other side of me was like, okay, slow the fuck down. Let's be decisive and concise with this, and intentional. And then I was talking to somebody. It was like, talk about what you know. What do you know that you can be an authority on? And I was like, foster care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went through that shit. I got questions. Then it was like, there you go. So I went and massaged some of my relationships that I still had juvenile. Because I was a legend coming out coming out of juvenile hall. I was a legend at the facility. So I do so I do people that because I wasn't a criminal, but I was in the system because I put myself in it. I was a unique case. I ran away from home so much purposely until they put me in the system. So I directly changed the course of my life on purpose because of what I was living through until they put me in the system. So they put me in the system, but now I'm in the system, but I'm not a criminal. And so it was hard to place me in different homes because what they really had access to and utilized was shit for criminals. They put foster kids in different places that had criminal behavior. I was just, maybe a petty thief and running away from home. And I was only stealing because I was running away from home. That was my, surviving and shit. But yeah, the foster care system is a broken system, and it's broken to this day. And the reason why I'm doing the follow up to it is because even while we were filming the first one, the people that we were talking to were restrained because they were minors, and the system, they going through that broken system, trying to explain to me what their current problem is while being held down by the man at that same time, trying to tell me, the shit is still broken. You can kind of see it in her face. When you watch the original, when we're interviewing her as a teenager, that she was restrained and not being able. Matter of fact, in our pre-interview for this movie, she said it. She was like, "Yeah, I couldn't. I felt like I was being watched and I couldn't really." But so now she says, "But now I'm grown and I got a bunch of stuff to say, and in regards to that system is broken." The saddest thing to me about her, man, is she was like, she's Native American and she don't know how to be Native American.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn. Because the system took her and her culture away. When they took her family and they took her culture. She's like, no offense, but they put me with a bunch of white people.
You know what? One of the saddest things that I've seen on the road, we did a show in New Mexico, and meeting some young Indian people off of the reservation, but they were into hip hop. They were, part of the culture and whatnot. And talking to them and having them explain, because not in a offensive way, but I asked because it might have been a brother and a sister, and they had came back to the tour bus after the show because it was like we were on like this particular tour was one with Hyro or Souls of Mischief, and it was like 2000, maybe 2000, 2001, and if we would have like when the show was over, we had beers, stuff like that. Shoot, we just, have people come back on we drink, talk, just whatever. And this girl was telling me just how bad the reservation was and how she wanted to get off the reservation because of the drugs and the alcohol. And she kind of she might even ask me like, I want to leave here. Like, would New York be a place for me to go or something like that? And like, she knew nothing about New York. She just knew that she didn't want to be like where she was. Like after she graduated, I guess maybe after she graduated from high school. And I just remember having a feeling of kind of sadness, like, dang, the Indians where they live is so, from what she told me, I didn't experience it. I didn't even go on to the reservation. This is just purely one conversation that was about a 3-hour conversation, just talking and having a beer. No, no romantic, no shit like that. Just literally me being in New Mexico and never really talking to an actual Indian brother and sister, like American Indian brother and sister, and them kind of sharing their experience. And it kind of hurt me. I was like, dang, here it is. These are some very spiritual people. This is kind of like their land, their place. And they are, she told me about this, the liquor abuse, the drug abuse, and just like the lack of jobs and just like all these things that were horrible that I could understand coming from like California or seeing a New York or something like that. But I guess maybe the fantasy in my mind was like on a reservation, you have like religion, a spiritual. I thought it was different than what it was.
They basically they squared away and got everything they need because it's the reservation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. And their plight is the fact that they're not only dealing with the reservation, but they're dealing with the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And then you got the piece, from the files that's going on right now. Some of that comes in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
When she started talking, leaning into them. She was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Oh okay, all right then. We'll talk about that." Yeah. So it runs deep, and I kind of knew that just from just when you paying attention to shit when you see certain shit, and then as an adult, you're like, "Oh, that's what that was." You can see how that shit can happen. And nobody's none the wiser or paying attention.
Disenfranchise people regardless of the race, creed, culture, spirituality, whatever. Like honestly, and I'll go on to something that's definitely lighter. But the two people that are off limits are the youth and the elderly, man. Those are the ones that are supposed to be protected at all costs.
And we don't respect either one of them.
Yeah, at all costs. So I saw Cat Williams' latest special, and he is a superhero, man. He is very good at what. But the funny thing about it, and I wouldn't have said this years ago, he's definitely in the same class as Dave Chappelle, but I believe they're polar opposites.
Yeah.
But he's definitely in the same, because he was able, Cat Williams' genius was able to talk about Cash Patel. he was able to touch on
so
Kearney.
You can't even be an eyewitness. I didn't see his special, but I saw some clips.
Oh no, he's great.
Yeah, I can't watch it.
Oh, because you're a comedian. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that one of the things he said, I can't remember, and I'm glad I can't. But one of these things he said, I was like, yeah, that's something I would say. That's something I would.
Okay, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Especially Dave Chappelle, because probably about 10, 12 years ago, and I could kind of see it a little bit now. But somebody was like, they were like, Dave Chappelle sounds like you. And I'm like, and I give it to Dave in regards to the sound, I guess, because he's been doing it longer since he was like 17. So I give him that props. I never really watched Dave until weed movie he did, and then I started watching him even before I started doing stand up, and so maybe subconsciously some of that resonates with me. But when I started, I legit was trying to find my voice, and legit ain't sounding like this person or that person, and legit developed and came into my own, and happened. Some of my mannerisms happen to sound like him is because that's just the way I speak, the way I sound, and so even now more so, I ain't watching shit.
You know, I think the
and I've
power.
seen too many of my jokes pop up on the Chappelle Show.
Oh wow.
That's another main reason. It's been 4 instances where I was like, "Oh, can't use that one no more." Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't. Parallel thinking happens all the time, but we live in a day and age, and a new study just came out that the last generation is dumber. And so we live in a day and age where there's no nuance, there's no critical thinking of, well, parallel thinking, or he's been doing it just as long. He probably, there's 40,000 comedians, and of course a couple people are going to be similar, and people don't think like that anymore. They're doing it first, you copy them, and it's everything is finite. And so yeah, to be able to say I ain't never seen that shit before my life is a great thing. Deniability.
I'll give him his flowers for what he did on the Chappelle Show.
Yes.
And then the transition of him no longer being on the Chappelle Show and doing something the polar opposite of what he did on the Chappelle Show.
Was it the polar opposite though?
Oh, for sure.
Was it?
I would say the
Chappelle. It was always political. Think about
it. You think so though?
Yeah, think about his skits. Think about his skits for a second. And the subject matters that they touched on.
But well, you know what? I'll say this.
He was good at making the political without making the political.
When he was no longer on the Comedy Network, it's like the training wheels or the guardrails. We're not gonna say training wheels. We're gonna say
guardrails was removed. Yeah.
He didn't have to keep it at 55.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
He didn't have to keep it at 55. He was on the Autobahn.
And then I think because he was good from the get-go, when he matured and come to his own, as getting older, when you mature and come to your own, shit becomes easier. Your mind's eye is a little more clear, and you can say, "Damn, nigga, yeah, okay," and you could kind of formulate shit even better. I think his genius, and just like Cat's ability, is based on coming of age. I think the age is just like when Richard Pryor and I would say Richard Pryor, he was
his awakening.
You know what I'm saying? He especially after he set himself on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he
get a little older, you get to being truthful about the shit. You're like, fuck it, yeah, that shit happened, nigga. And I think the shit is coming with age. They're fermenting, and the age is they popping that cork, that wine that they are, and giving it to us the way that a seasoned vet would do. You know what I'm saying?
So I know you don't watch comedy, but I also know you haven't lived underneath a rock your whole life either.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know for sure, but I would probably say that could be scientifically proven that you haven't lived underneath the rock for your entire life.
Right.
But if you had to say, what has been the dopest moment in comedy that you've witnessed in person?
Dopest moment. It was in El Paso, Texas. The dopest moment. I mean, compartmentalize the dopest moment and the funnest. So I'm gonna put that aside. The dopest moment was in El Paso. Because El Paso used to be my stomping ground in that area, probably about a 200-mile radius of that city, and in other parts in Texas or whatever. But I used to work a lot for this particular agency in New York that booked regions around El Paso, and the club there was called. There's a comedy club there. It's still there, and I can't think of his name right now because I'm talking about it. But anyway, whatever that main comedy club is in El Paso, um, I wanted to do a guest set there so I could get into that club. And I got a guest set there by way of a comic. Used to be a friend of mine that was working there. Bart, that's who owns. I still can't think of the name right now. But he got me a guest set, and the guest set is you going in there and doing a 5-10 minutes, whatever they give you during a regular show. And I can't remember who the headliner was, but I want to say probably my friend was the feature act. And so they gave me a guest set spot. And Bart had found out that I was doing work because he was like, "Why are you here in El Paso? Are you working for so and so?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, I don't like that." Blah blah. I'm like, "Okay, what you like?" Well, I got to pay rent, whatever. And I know I wasn't coming back, even no matter how and I never got to come back because of that. But anyway, that night, I want to say within that week, Richard Pryor had died, and it was a full house. And I when I was up there, man, I was killing it, and I felt that was my first out of body experience as a comic. I stepped outside of my body and turned to me and looked at me and was like, "Nigga, you got him." I felt like Richard, man. It's hard to describe. I felt like him, and and I was able to stand side by side with myself and look at the audience, the full house, and how I got these niggas eating out of my hand, man. And then I was like, all right, let's finish the show. You only got 5 minutes, and continue to do my thing. That was the best moment. Um, Top two best moments in my career. The first best moment is when what my mentor had said to me came true. He said, "Amaru, right now you think you're funny, but you don't believe that you're funny." And I was looking at him like, "Bitch, I know I'm, ego." But he was right. He said, "One day you don't know when it's gonna happen, but you're gonna believe that you're funny. It's just gonna happen. You're just gonna pop or whatever." I don't know what the fuck he's talking about at that point. And lo and behold, man, I don't say it was less than a year. I was walking up on stage. David Allen Greer was the headliner, and I was going up on stage to introduce him. And it was the night that I forgot his name when I was going up on stage. I got out of that.
You said you forgot his name?
Yeah, I forgot his name. As I'm going up on stage, in the back of my head, it said, "Nigga, you funny. Fuck these people." I was like, "Who said that?" And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? Am I going crazy right now?" It was like, "Nigga, do your thing. You funny. Fuck them niggas." And I went up on stage, and then I was like, oh my God, what's the headliner's name? Nigga, I done hung out with him all week, did radio with him, live and all kind of shit, and get up on stage. It's full out. I forgot. I was like, oh my God, I was panicking, but I didn't show it. I was just like, oh my God, man, are you guys excited? It was like, yeah, you excited. I was like, man, your headliner, y'all don't even know who y'all came to see, do y'all? They was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, who y'all come to see? They was like, David Allen Greer. I was like, ladies and gentlemen, you see them on so-and-so. You see the da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. David Allen Greer. I had the audience tell me. walked
All
off
right.
stage, walked off stage, was like, you are funny. Okay, you do got it. And that point on changed my whole life in regards to my career and it taking off.
Dope. Dope. So I'm gonna hit you with the last one. This is one of the most irritating things that I've experienced with social media. And you know, it's a personal thing, but I'm gonna ask you because I like I said, I watch you on Facebook and I see your one-liners and you just constantly coming with the one-liners. When the element of fact checking was no longer on social media. And when I say fact checking, I mean like content of like text or things that you could say as well as photographs. Once upon a time, you could post a photograph and social media would be like, this is artificially, manipulated, blah, blah, blah. Or let's say you could share what before Reels, you could just share something from YouTube or just whatever, and you share it, and it'd be a big old fat little dot 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 at the bottom of it. This is not factually correct. Dot dot
Yeah,
dot
yeah,
dot.
yeah, 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 yeah.
How do you feel about them no longer fact checking on social media?
Okay, so how I thought about this the other day, how to combat that shit, or at least you not getting tagged as someone putting out misinformation because it's not being fact checked. And I do it every now and then, and people like what is it called, Unlad, or even the Griot or something like that. When they post some shit, they'll put context as the first post or comment. Click link in the bio or whatever. Link in the comments. So if you go to the first comment is usually them with a link and some context about what you've posted.
What you're looking at.
So I did that maybe once or twice yesterday or something like that, but I'm going to start doing that to give context to what I've posted so that
people don't have to catch up.
One, they can catch up, but two, they know where I'm coming from. And three, because I used to, about 10, 15 years ago, I probably stopped this 6, 7 years ago, is every now and then I would do a public service announcement saying, hey, my name is Amaru. I talk shit. I'm stand-up comic, and I push shit up here to test the waters, have conversations, provoke thought, blah, 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 blah. Sort of a disclaimer. and I stopped doing that, but it's like people don't read shit no more. Not even because on Instagram they'll click on your bio. If you're talking some shit, they click on your bio, then they'll come back and be like, "Oh, you old bald head ass nigga, shut up. Sit down somewhere, whatever." Cool. At least you're clicking on the bio and you've seen something, because one of the comments will be like, "Yeah, but you a stand-up comic, you should da 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 da." So that tells me, okay, well, at least you're looking at on Facebook. They not doing that shit. They just looking at whatever you post. Not Facebook, but what's the other one? Threads. They're not doing that. They looking at what you said or whatever you posted and reacting off of that shit. There's no, let me see what this person does. Let me see what this person does to see if they're an authority about what they're speaking. None of that. It's, oh, you dumbass nigga. You get the dumbass nigga award. Nobody do, it's like, God damn. Like, I'm not saying this. This is literally a one-liner to provoke a conversation from you. Let's talk about it. But you a dumbass nigga. You fat. You stink. Your mom ain't shit. because you're trying to have a conversation with people. So yeah, I think not necessarily for Instagram, but for like Threads and Facebook, I'm gonna start putting an additional thought or whatever, or a link or context in the comment, so that it kind of answers what you were saying and give me a way out in case they get the drag in my ass because I said some shit about Jay-Z, nigga, and they're not even looking at the metaphor that he spit. He said 99 problems and a bitch ain't one, and I put Jay-Z got 99 problems and then Epstein files one of them. We ain't gonna talk about that either. That's what I put. Like, I got dragged for that. Are you spreading out misinformation? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, like, what? I'm like, okay, so you ain't even looking at the metaphor? The metaphor, he got all these problems and a female ain't one. He got all these problems and one of them is the files. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
He may not be in them, but his name was referenced around them. So we ain't going to talk about that. That's my question. We're going to talk about it so we can clear it up or whatever. The metaphor even says it. He got all these other problems, but this ain't one. But the files are. That's what that is. That shit drives me crazy. Like, people are stupid.
Oh man, you can't. Yeah, you can't even. Yeah,
You literally try to argue with me saying that didn't happen. Okay, it may not happen, but do you see how relevant that that bar is? I got 99 problems and the bitch ain't one. And one of them problems is the FC file.
them files, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not
yeah,
going away
man.
no time
No,
soon. Ain't
no
even got
time.
fired up yet.
No times. And then they just said that they're not putting out any more when there's 3 million left. So, you know.
Hey, it's what so. In my opinion, the files is one of those things where it's like an album that's out with a gang of singles.
It's like the R. Kelly song. The one where he did like 12, 13 of them connecting them. The
Man,
in the closet shit.
fools is just catching up. Fools is just 2026. Fools is just catching up. So I say that to say,
every time they drop it back, I hear R. Kelly. There was
yeah, them
nothing.
files got a life. They ain't even they not even a terrible two yet, man. They
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no. And the dots and them shits be connected, man. Like with that life touch shit, that shit blowing my that shit blow my mind. I still get emails from them, you know, talking about you still want to blah blah blah. I'm like, damn, y'all want to update of my baby now, okay? Yeah, you know that being connected to him, and then Bitcoin talking about he created that shit. Like, come on, man, he did all this,
Yeah.
man. Like, and this shit you don't even think about. Oh, that's him too. Like, god damn, like man, who knows what that shit gonna connect in a month from now. That's the crazy thing. Like, and in 2-3 weeks, it's gonna be a whole other bombshell shit that dropped from them damn files to some.
Oh man, I have a feeling we're gonna get bombshells for the next 3 years, man. It ain't even started, man. But with that being said, man, this has been another episode of
Oh wait,
Splendid Radio.
hold on. Before you do that, what I need to run back the question you asked me.
Huh.
What about my moment? What was that question?
Oh, I was asking you, what's the dopest moment that you've ever witnessed as far as comedy has been, concerned?
Okay, so I'm flip that back on you. What's the dopest moment? I know you done had some. I know you done seen a few of them.
Comedy or hip hop?
No, hip hop and what you do.
Hip hop.
I know you got some stories.
Dopest moment. You know what? I'm not gonna say hip hop. I'll say I'm not gonna say hip hop, but I'll say entertainment industry related.
Yeah.
Um, being in Lebanon after a show before it got wild. This was probably like 2004, and leaving a dope show and then going to what was rated one of the dopest clubs in the world and being there with my homies, people who I've become homies with, but I was fans of their situation, but being that we were involved in something where there was a small percentage of Americans as part of this whole thing, you become close. Regardless, we're from LA, they're from New York, you moving around the world, and the majority of the people that are out there are from the United Kingdom, and being black, you're gonna gravitate with you're gonna gravitate with the people.
You
But
walk in the building, who you with?
being there with my people that are highly revered as forerunners for hip hop, people that are highly revered as punk rock musicians that I was able to really hang out with and get to know and really have deep dialogue with for like a couple of weeks at a time. And we were celebrating at this club, And they had fire. The club was on the water. They had fireworks going off to the music over the water, away from where we were, to the beat of the music. And that was, yeah, that was definitely wonderful. And I'm gonna tell you how powerful the moment was. When we left that club, I wanted to keep it going. And so it was myself, it was a manager from another hip hop group, and it was Brown. And I was like, man, we out here in Lebanon, you know what I'm saying? We're with who we with, you know what I'm saying? It's this other cracking club that was going on down the street. Now, the other club, we're in Lebanon, and the other club it looked like Beverly Hills. It was Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Range, Aston Martins, every single thing. So me being naive, which I'm probably still naive to this day, and leaving the party that we just left and who I'm with, I'm like, oh man, we can't let the night stop. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we about to go up into this club where the Bugattis and the da 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 da. So we walk over there, and I threw out the name of who we were there with, and da 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 da. And man, they wasn't caring at all, man. Oh man. Yeah, they man, they looked at me like I was a Martian, man. It didn't like, man, none of what I just left and was cracking and who I was with and all that translated to anything.
It was straight love.
Put it this way, I'll say they probably didn't even reject this with words. It was probably just a shake of a head, like. Yeah, so I have to say, yeah, that was the dopest moment.
Hey, I do miss that. Being in LA, anytime I go to LA, anytime I live there, I never waited in line to go into anything, anywhere, any club, any release, none of that. To come back home to Michigan and not have that superpower that I had in the West Coast. I'm not waiting in line.
Oh yeah, man. It was definitely a humbling moment, man. I mean, it humbled me to a level of where I probably thought about that for the next couple of days. I was like, man, I really got ahead of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I really got ahead of myself.
Man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But I can only imagine though, man, how much fun y'all had.
Oh yeah, that was that night. And you know the thing about it, I have video footage, and if you know, it's deep in my it's deep. It was before Instagram was around, but I do have footage of that night deep in my Facebook stuff, the video clip. And
y'all probably got like documentary footage.
You know, the people who we were with were very particular about video, like filming and stuff like that. And that's why I've never like reposted it or just I never took it down, but that's why I've never just like put it out there. Because it's like it's star-studded, man. Like really star-studded what was going down. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what it was. But that being said, this has been another episode of Splendid Radio on Farside TV. Got to chop it up with Amaru. It's been a couple moons. I'm glad we was able to do this thing. We'll do it again.
And that's my I was talking on the live, whatever, the chat under my beat moniker, Mr. Woosab.
Oh, okay.
That's me. So
all good. You got anything you want to shout out? Anything you want people to check out?
No, man. Just I want people to stop going down them rabbit holes that I be going down. Let me do that for you. Uh, keep stay focused on something so that this shit don't drown you, but stay aware. Keep your head on the swivel and stay aware of what's going on. Just try to focus on something that will keep you from going to the sunken place. Because I dip in and out of depression, man, and so sometimes when I don't pick up, it ain't.
Oh, I never take it personal.
It's not me. It's my brain saying, "Don't do it."
Yeah, nah, I'm not even, dude. I never take it personal. Matter of fact, I feel like I won't post politics necessarily on Instagram, but I will do it on Facebook because
Yep.
it's more like family and friends on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
But, I felt like I just couldn't hold it in, man. Because it's kind of like, who cares what your politics are? But I
Right,
just
right,
feel
right.
like the sensory overload was so much that I just kind of had to
Gotta
go
let it
through.
out. I saw that meat you posted on there.
Yeah,
That
and
shit was
you know
that
what?
shit was looking good.
That was me breaking the monotony. I
Uh,
posted the meet, and I was out over the weekend hanging out with a fellow actor, comedian, and I broke up the monotony, and I was like, man, I gotta get away from letting all this stuff stir me up.
I saw that shit. I was like, that one made me go eat some.
Yes, sir. Well, nah, man. That being said, we'll hook it up in a couple of weeks, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks
No
for
problem.
everything.